This is the Best Western Plus Novato Oaks Inn. We are located in the hillside in Novato, California, in beautiful Marin County. We're about 20 minutes north of the Golden Gate Bridge, and we are very conveniently located equidistant to Napa, the wine country, Point Reyes, the beaches, and of course, beautiful San Francisco.
My understanding is that you have won the MK Guertin Award many, many years in a row. Tell us a little bit what this award is and how many times you've won it. It's pretty remarkable.
Well, the MK Guertin Award it's an award for our brand, which is Best Western, and Best Western International as well. And it branches back many, many years when Best Western was created. The owner of the brand is MK Guertin, and he created this referral program for all Best Westerns he came up with this idea, hey, if you loved my hotel, I'm going to call my friend in Sacramento and send him your way. And so he was just the founder of the brand and created this wonderful Best Western family of hotels.
Best Western really stands out to me as being unique among other brands. I wonder if you could explain for our listeners who maybe don't know the differences between this and some of the other major brands. What makes Best Western different, special?
Best Western special because each hotel is independently owned and operated. So all the Best Westerns are family owned, and most of these families, it's been passed through generation to generation, and they live and breathe hospitality. They love the hotel business and they love their hotels.
I love it. And my understanding is you've won this MK Guertin Award 14 times.
Yes, 14 years in a row.
Which is remarkable if you think about this has been achieved by almost no one else.
Very true. Actually, I think we're the only Best Western in the brand that has won it 14 years in a row straight.
Okay, wow. So what a winning streak. Tell us a little bit more about the components that go into winning this award.
So basically the MK Guertin is all based on scores. And there's a survey system in the world of hospitality, Medallia. Many hotels use Medallia. And it's all based on the experience score and customer service scores that come through the brand. And to be MK Guertin, you essentially have to be top 5% of the brand. And our scores, to be eligible, you have to come in at a 92% or above for an experience score. You have to achieve a quality assessment of a 985 out of 1,000, at least, minimum. You have to have certain number of reward program enrollments. So we have Best Western Rewards, and our goal is to sign up new members every time they're here and welcome them back as members. And all hotels have these reward programs, and they're very important for everyone as they earn points for their travel, and you can get free night stays, merchandise, etc. So all those things, we have to stand out in our district, which is California, Nevada, and Hawaii. And I have to, as a general manager, attend the annual convention, make sure that I make sure the scores are where they need to be, and I make sure the enrollments are where they need to be.
Well, it's amazing. You think about all the different ways of measuring quality. There's so many ways you can do that. You talked about quality assessments. You talked about guest surveys. If we look online, sites like TripAdvisor,
exactly.
Traveler's Choice Award winner #1 in the area.
Yes.
So any way you slice and dice this, you're earning these incredible scores. People are so happy to stay here. What do you feel like you're doing differently? Because obviously there's brand standards and things like that, but you're doing something differently that is producing these results. What would you chalk that up to?
Well, I think it all boils down to the staff, and we just really take our time when we're looking for people that are the right fit to the puzzle, and it all boils down to the staff. And I think personally what I do differently is I am very operationally minded. I work with them in their departments one-on-one. If I walk the property every day. I'm in the rooms every day. If I need to clean rooms with, help a housekeeper out in a room, I do. I work the front desk. I have my hand in every department, and we just wind up building relationships with our team, and we consider ourselves a family. And I think we have a lot of fun. Humor is very important, that we all get along and have fun while we're here at work. And I think it just shows with the longevity that I have in the team.
You talk about being an operationally focused leader. And for me, this is interesting because you look at the awards, amazing marketing, amazing recognition.
Mm-hmm.
I have a marketing background, but I've become obsessed with operations because it seems it is that drives the experience that we enjoy as travelers. And you talked about, for you, operations and being an operationally minded leader is getting involved in the details of each area of the business. Can you explain that a little bit more for us? What does that look like practically in terms of how you spend your days?
What it looks like is, so I can't spend my whole day in my office. And it's interesting because there's two types of managers. You have your operations managers that are really entrenched in the physical property, the back of the house. You also have GMs that are very revenue focused. Now, I know the ownership loves those revenue focused managers, and I certainly do pay attention to that. I actually went through a certification program, so I have my CRME for revenue management as well. But I just think it's so important to keep the scores up and to keep our customers coming back, that we really pay attention to our guest rooms, that they're always clean, they're always well maintained, they're always comfortable. So we spend, I ask my team, spend the night here, are the blankets warm? Are the pillows comfortable? Is the bathroom clean? Are the hallways clean? Is the breakfast area clean? And I ask them to, get involved with every part of the hotel.
This is a little different. Do your staff take you up on that? Do they?
They do. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
What's some of the things that you've heard coming out of that?
What we learned in a few of these trials is, tried to think back, the air conditioner is really noisy. Some guests might say it, but if you're not really experiencing it yourself, you don't really know what that is. Sometimes, the soap is, we don't like the soap, or, this isn't comfortable, or I don't understand the way the television works. So by working on all of that and understanding it, it helps us give the guest a better experience.
I love that, because I feel like oftentimes folks that, even when you've worked for years at a place, it's possible to never actually stay as a guest.
Absolutely.
Maybe you might have family and friends that do, but it's different when you're doing it yourself.
Right.
You just see things that,
absolutely.
Even if you're spending, all day here, working here, it's different when you're staying overnight.
Exactly. Yeah, I know I stayed the night we had a winter storm, and I spent the night because I had to make sure I could get here. And I noticed, when I was sleeping, the blackout drapes had a little hole, and this light was coming through. And I'm like, a guest never mentioned it, but it's like, because I witnessed it myself, and I witnessed it at a different time of the day, you can fix those things.
I think for me, what stands out, it's not necessarily that something wasn't set up correctly to start. It's just, obviously hotels are these physical buildings, and anything, just, think about our own homes. We have to make repairs, and so there's a certain amount of constant attention to what is the current state of things.
100%.
Not that we just set it up right to begin with.
Right. And it, I always talk with my housekeepers, and they do a phenomenal job. The rooms here, this month we were at 100% cleanliness score, 100%. Which is amazing. Yeah. So our guests think that our rooms are really clean, and they do a fantastic job cleaning. But when you're a guest, you see, you use the room differently. So when you're a guest, you're laying on the bed, you're looking up at the ceiling. But if you're a housekeeper, you're not looking up at the ceiling. You're looking down at what you're cleaning. So it's a different perspective, and I'm always mentioning that. Think about, when the guest is in the room, they're turned around. They're looking at it different than you are. So we have to look at all those things.
It's all about the perspective, right? There's one thing I'm really curious about. You mentioned something interesting around operationally focused leaders versus revenue focused leaders. I'm curious if you see a bit of a connection there because a number of years ago I was working in guest feedback management, and we did this study with Cornell where we tried to look at kind of a research-based approach around, as hotels improve guest satisfaction, is there more demand or more pricing power? But that was a number of years ago. I'm curious what your recent experience has been as you've achieved these phenomenal guest satisfaction scores. Do you see pricing power? What are some of the economic or revenue benefits of this?
Based on our comp set, Marin County is very expensive, and we get very healthy rates here, and we price ourselves exactly where we should be within our market. And the pandemic kind of messed things up a little bit. But before that, we were seeing some really nice revenue growth for average daily rate. And we're kind of hoping that we will recoup that in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, all hotels are navigating just obviously the whole practice of revenue management is so based on historicals, and there's a lot of unprecedented waters we're all navigating. But it seems that there's something resilient and sort of it doesn't matter, what the, kind of the ups and downs are. If you're delivering a good product that shows up as positive guest reviews, and it feels like there's some longevity to that.
Yes, and we, I think our reviews are outstanding, and people do rely on those reviews. We have a competitor in the area it's a great brand, but they're not paying enough attention, and the reviews are not great. And so when people are comparing, they're like, the rate is close, but their scores are here and their scores are here. So that's when we convert them.
Interesting. You talk about paying attention. How do you? It sounds like you're tracking feedback from a lot of different areas. What does maybe a typical day look like in terms of how you track that? Is it all sort of funneled into one place?
Yeah, we have that survey system I mentioned. You can track your rivals, so you can go in and actually look at their reviews, which every day, several times a day, we're very rate focused. We look at the comp sets rates, make sure we're positioned correctly. And in doing that, sometimes you wind up looking at their reviews. And when you compare the reviews with everyone in the area, it's very telling. And it actually, reading those reviews, you can sometimes go, I'm going to check that at my property and make sure we excel there.
I think that's where online reviews are really fascinating because before some of these sites like TripAdvisor existed, we had comment cards, but sometimes those comment cards ended up in the trash, but it's all visible, including for other hotels in the area.
Right.
Do you have any practice around sharing this with members of your team, or how do you think about sharing those insights?
We allow them. They actually can read it themselves. They can go on and track us, and they. It's funny, in case I didn't mention it, I'm a very competitive person. And so I'm always very score focused and like, hey guys, we are at 98% for the month. Let's keep it there, and they go in and they look at the scores and they just give it their hardest push to keep those scores up. And it's just fun,
I want to get into talk about people just for a little bit, but just one final question on how you lead the team. You mentioned kind of talking with your team. Do you have like a daily stand-up, or how do you say would you communicate with your team that's maybe a little different from other managers?
I know that bigger hotels do have that daily stand-up, but we're a relatively small team, so we just we have a little back office, and we just congregate every day and just talk all day long about what are we going to do today? Hey, did we hit our numbers today? Did we get our reward sign up? It's just constant all day long. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, you're just spending a lot of time with the team.
Yeah.
Before we started recording, you told me something that I was surprised. I was taking some notes around. You have some people here that have been here a long time, and we're in a world where so many people I talk with are really challenged by staff turnover. People sometimes show up for a day or don't even show up. But you have some individuals on your team that have been here a long time. Tell me about maybe first some of the people that have been with you a while, and then I'd love to hear what you do that's different, that's gotten these folks to stay around.
Yeah. Well, For example, my chief maintenance engineer, who is gold in the world of hospitality, he is going on his, I think it's 35 years. And he's going to retire this year, which makes us very sad, but he is amazing. He is a plumber, an electrician, a mechanic. He can fix anything. We have most of my front desk agents are over 10 years. Many of them. My night auditor has been 20 years. I mean, to have a consistent night auditor in a hotel who never misses a beat, it's incredible. My assistant AGM has been here. It's pushing 20 years. It's just my head housekeeper, 25 years. It's amazing.
That's incredible.
More than half the staff is over 15 years.
Wow, that's wild. So amazing across the board. More than half of your staff has been here, and you've been here at the property how long?
25 years.
So you've hired a number of these people.
Yes, most of them. A few of them, a couple people that I mentioned, we all kind of came together when the property was built. So I didn't hire them, but everyone in the 25 years I've hired. Yeah.
That's amazing. So what would you say has been helpful in keeping people around? Again, so many hotels can't even keep people around for a few months, it seems. How do you keep these folks around for long?
I think it's just about our culture. It's a culture of caring. It's a family culture, and we just enjoy each other's company, and we laugh and have fun.
How would you define culture? Because it's interesting. I sometimes struggle with what would be your definition of it?
I guess it's how we treat people. It's Best Western talks a lot about the culture of caring, and it's how we treat our customers, how we treat our staff, and how we want to be treated.
Can you give me an example of maybe an interaction you had with one of your staff members that you think made that was meaningful to them?
Just today, in fact, I have a new housekeeper. Today was her 4-month anniversary. We recently hired her. And she stopped me in the hallway and said, "I just want to tell you that I absolutely love it here. You have given me an incredible job, and I love everyone I work with, and I love being part of this team." And it was just, it hit me. I'm so happy to hear that. And she's amazing, and I love having her with us.
It feels like success in hospitality really does come down to the people. Of course, there's many different elements of it, but as the leader of this place, it seems like that's a big part of your job is recruiting, attracting, hiring, then retaining that talent that helps you put up these kind of numbers and earn these kind of rewards. Rewards, rather.
Yeah, it's I wear a lot of hats. I mean, sometimes I'm a therapist. We have some conversations, where I've gotten to know all the team members really well, and they can be maybe having a bad day, and we talk about it, and I try and make sure that they know I'm here to support them, and it's important. Like I said, it is like a family, so we all care about each other.
How do you stay recharged? Because a lot of people I talk with are doing good work, but I sense a fair amount of burnout, especially obviously over the last couple of years. And I think as a leader, as you mentioned, there's a big piece of this of building into others and coaching others, but it's a lot of kind of outflow of energy. And so what sort of fills your battery that allows you to do that?
I just really I'm one of those people that just files it away and just try and manage it. I mentioned in an earlier life I was a hairdresser, and that has a lot to do with it. You just listen, and I don't let it wear me down. And all managers, we have those days where too much comes at us, and so I just try. I love to exercise, so that's working out is a great thing, to balance.
Yeah, it seems like we got to take care of ourselves because it's demanding on every level.
Yeah.
to do this job. What are you most excited about as you kind of look forward? You have an incredible line of awards and recognition. Kind of what keeps you in the game and keep moving forward.
Well, what I'm most excited about, in this as this is a hospitality communication here, is that I'm just most proud of the success we've had in the brand and the success the hotel has had. My team does an amazing job. We're fortunate too. We have our own sales manager who really helps keep us in the game and helps me. That's another level of how I can manage, is because I do have support from an independent sales manager who really helps out, my front office manager. They really help allow me to do what's important for the hotel by keeping track of their departments. That really makes a big difference.
Makes a lot of sense. We covered a lot. Did anything else on your mind?
I think I know what I think I do differently. I did touch on it, that I feel, I pick up garbage in the parking lot, and sometimes someone will say to me, well, that's not your job. And I say, no, it is my job. Or if someone is walking down a hallway and they, walk by some towels that are on the floor, I look at them and they say, oh, well, I'll page houseman. I'm like, no, just pick it up, or I'll pick it up. Yesterday we had a snake at the pool, and I said, oh, I will get it. So that, the team is looking at me like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's okay.
That's a message to the team.
Yeah.
And, you're leading this place and you're not above taking care of these little details.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think in some hotels, in maybe smaller hotels, that's a GM isn't always willing to do something like that or leave their office. They want to just stay in their office and work on reports and things like that. But I think that's maybe what makes me a little unique.